After dropping games 2 and 3 to the Cardinals earlier this week, an off day yesterday, and a whole new series coming up here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, it's easy to forget everything that happened in the last series. So I'm here to break down some key plays and moments from MLB Statcast. I'm Klaff here in the MASN All Access Studios. Let's dive right in. On Wednesday in the series finale against St. Louis, lefty Cade Povich came out of the gates looking really strong. The 25-year-old was in command of his stuff, striking out 6 of the first 10 batters he faced. He went on to total 9 Ks. Now, Povich is in the 60th percentile for strikeout rate and 46th for walk rate, which means he's a very different type of pitcher compared to other O's starters. Zach Eflin, Tomoyuki Sugano, and Dean Kramer don't get a lot of strikeouts, all in the bottom 16% in that category. But they limit walks extremely well, all in the top 20% there. But to be a successful pitcher, you don't necessarily need to have such a large gap between the two metrics. Where things went awry for the lefty on Wednesday was when the Redbirds started to figure him out and he wasn't throwing enough pitches low and away in the zone. The southpaw said afterwards that he just threw too many predictable pitches in too good of spots. But still, after finishing just 4 2/3 innings but with 9 Ks, he's got some good things coming so long as he can locate his pitches more arm side instead of glove side. Now moving on the offensive side of things, Ryan O'Hearn continues to obliterate at the plate. He's up to 9 long balls on the season now after hitting a dinger in Game 2 against the Cards. His offensive results all make sense when you take a look at his launch angle sweet spot rate. Nearly 41% of the time, the lefty bat releases the ball between 8 and 32 degrees off the bat, which is the sweet spot. That stat puts him in the top 9% of all major league hitters. His 3-run homer on Tuesday off of Andre Palante went off the bat at a launch angle of 24 degrees, so right there in that sweet spot range. That home run came off of a 4-seamer, which O'Hearn has mashed this year with a plus 11 run value on fastballs. That's tied for second best in the bigs on all pitch types, and for context, Aaron Judge's run value is also 11 on sinkers. If you're looking into another big stat, Ryan O'Hearn's WOBA, his weighted on-base average, is in the top 2%. WOBA essentially takes into account how a player reaches base, not just if they reach base, so walks, hit by pitches are all included, and a certain value is assigned to each method of reaching base. Of course, O'Hearn's offense has been on fire lately, but he looked just as good on defense last series. In right field, he robbed Pedro Pais of a hit in the top of the second inning in Game 1. The catch probability here was a 60% chance, but the interesting part of this play was O'Hearn's uptick in speed. His sprint speed to make this sliding catch was 28.5 feet per second. Before this play, O'Hearn's highest recorded sprint speed was 26.3 feet per second. So the veteran kicked it into high gear to get out 3 and end the top of the second inning. Now we're going to go back on the pitching front since Zach Eflin is set to take the mound today in Game 1 against the White Sox. Let's look back at his previous start against the Red Sox where he allowed 3 home runs on his cutter. He hasn't had much success with his cutter this season as he did last year. Last season his cutter's run value was 11 and this season it's 0, which is better than negative but definitely not as strong as in 2024. The higher a run value, the more runs prevented. However, the current slugging percentage on his cutter is 700, which yes is high, but the expected slugging is 619. Expected means it's considering the quality of the batter's contact with the pitch without other factors like luck, ballpark, and defense. Similarly, Eflin's in the 91st percentile for expected on-base percentage. These expected stats don't predict, but they describe skill when looking at tracked data and quality of a batted ball. Lastly, Eflin's barrel rate is 10.7% in 2025, the highest in his career. We know that F is a contact pitcher rather than a strikeout guy, but a higher barrel rate is strongly correlated with the hitter's power and hitting for home runs, so he'll need to focus on getting weaker contact. The righty has yet to go deeper than 5 1/3 innings since making it back from the IL, so he'll look to do that today.